Foodies and Spice. Now they for kitchen, water done they for fire. Oh boy, to see them done they for pots, they boy together. My belly done the sweet plus everybody they together. Foodies and Spice. Foodies and Spice. Foodies and Spice. Foodies and Spice.
Have you tried egusi and okra before? Now today's going to be my first time of trying egusi and okra together. I have seen it, I've asked people, they said they eat it. Do you eat it? Well, I'm trying it for the first time. I want to see if I will like it. You're welcome to Foodies and Spice. It's time to go call your friends, family and everybody. Foodies and Spice is about to start and my name is Gina. Welcome back. So, egusi soup I eat, okra soup I eat very well, but today we are combining both and it's going to be my first time of combining both and tasting it like I've never done it since I was born. It's going to be my first time. I have egusi seeds here, I've got meat, pepper, okra, dry fish, stockfish, blended crayfish, onions, palm oil, seasoning salt, prawns. I know I already mentioned the meat, but this meat has got an array of meats. Pomo, beef, shaki, and roundabout. We're going to be eating this with yam, pounded yam, and we'll be pounding with our food processor. Did you see the video that I just posted some days ago on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, where I showed the pounded yam we ate for New Year's Day? And you know, I was actually pounding because I can pound. So if you want to see that video, you check it out on Facebook, Foodies and Spice, YouTube, Foodies and Spice, Gina Foodies and Spice on Instagram, TikTok, Foodies and Spice. Like I gave a detailed how you can pound. All right? And not forgetting, we've got Malta Guinness. Now you already know that Malta Guinness is a very refreshing drink that you can enjoy with all your meals. It pairs well with meals. You also can make various mocktails with your Malta Guinness. But today, Gina is making a Malta Guinness bread. Now hold, it is not Malta banana bread. No. This is like an actual bread with yeast that's going to rise and all that. And if you don't know, malt bread is actually a tin. Malt bread is a tin. But right now I don't have the real malt, but I have Malta Guinness that you can substitute to make yourself a beautiful malt bread. For my bread, I've got flour, sugar, butter, yeast, and any other thing I'm adding, I'll let you know. And of course, the Malta Guinness because it's a malt bread. Let's get to it. Apart from the pomo, which I'll be adding later because it's soft pomo, I'll be cooking my shaki, my beef, the tripe, the fowl, the intestine. Onions, salt, seasoning. Some of you have mentioned online that I don't use too much spices and seasoning when cooking. That's why you like my cooking. Well, I always feel like when a recipe calls for something, you use it. Also, little is better. Now, that doesn't mean you cannot play with various types of spices. I can put my oregano here, I can put my thyme here, but sometimes little is better. But when it calls for it, when you need to change it, up it, just use the appropriate one. Not because you have plenty spices, you just start pouring things. Some things don't go with some things, okay? So I'm going to just stir on it and make sure the salt and the seasoning coats the meat very well, because we're not going to be adding water. Right now, if you follow me, you know that's how I cook meat. It has to cook in its own water first before I add any meat to cook it through or soften it. All right? Now cover to cook. We're going to cook simultaneously today. While the meat is cooking, I'll start with putting together the bread dough so that it can have time to rise. So while it's rising, I can complete this other cooking. Don't forget, we are also pounding yam, so it's going to be a long day today. Meat cooking, let's go to the bread. We are making malt bread today. Don't let it surprise you, because malt bread is actually a tin. Whilst the real malt bread, you have to use malt, the plant itself. This one, you can always substitute with your Malta Guinness because it is made from malt. And this is an actual bread with the yeast, the whole rising and baking and all of that. You will love it. But I'm going to make my own a bit very, a bit sweet. I'll be adding some raisins. So anything I'll be adding, I'll let you know. Just make sure you have your eyes open. Don't knock it, make it. You will love it. So I'll start by measuring 6 cups of flour, because I want to make sure I have bread for my son, one of the twins. He loves bread so much. So that's 6 cups. I'll be using a 1/4 cup of sugar. I have 1 tablespoon of yeast and a little bit of salt. I'm going to mix this to combine. Then I'll add 1 Malta Guinness. Make sure you don't put it in the fridge. It has to be warm. You're going for about 1 cup or 2. You're going to keep mixing this till it comes together. Then you put it on a flat surface to knead. But I do have my stand mixer today, so I'll pop it into my stand mixer to knead. I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. So while that is mixing, I'll check on my meat. Just do a little bit of stir. This is good now. This looks so good. Now this is a beautiful bouncy dough. Looks really good. Okay, so but I'm going to take some butter or margarine. I'm actually using margarine today, so even if I mentioned butter, I meant margarine. You're just going to rub it. I'll take my kneaded dough, just like so, just folding it in properly, and then place it in the oiled bowl. So I'm going to allow this to rise. I'll cover it with a clean cloth. Keep it in a clean, dry, warm place till it has doubled in size. So our meat is doing good there. Cooking, it's still cooking in its own water. I've not added extra water to it at all. Yeah? And here is my egusi seeds, melon seeds. I told people about washing their egusi the other day, and I still had some people saying, oh, they don't do it. Please do. Even if you want to blend it dry, you can wash. Like this one was washed, dried before we are blending it now. But I'm going to blend it with water. So even if you want to blend it dry, you can wash it, dry it, take it to your market or your way to the market and use their grinder. Because a lot of people, you don't know who touched the egusi. The person might be peeling the egusi and use his hand to clean his kata and continue cleaning, peeling the egusi. So that's the reason why you have to rinse it. Rinse it out. Alright, so I have egusi there. I'll be using 1.5 bulb of onions, pepper according to your taste, some water. Alright, so this is ready and I'll just put it in warm palm oil or slightly heated palm oil. Salt, my blended egusi with the pepper and onions. So I'll cover it to fry for about 6 to 7, but just be watching it. Make sure it doesn't burn. I'll come turn it from time to time. But let it fry for at least 3 minutes or 4 first. The meat is ready, so I'm going to add the pomo now. So you can just cook in the stock as well. I'll also be adding the stockfish to that stock. I'm adding tomato paste. Stir on it. Cover and allow it cook for a few more minutes. So I'll be adding some dried fish. Then the meat stock with the pomo and the stockfish. Now that my pot is full, I may not have chance to put the okra, so I'll transfer it into a bigger pot. I have space for my okra now. I'll add the dried prawns. I have small dried prawns today. I have the blended crayfish. I'll just add that to it. And I'll add a little bit of water for it to cook for about 3 minutes while I use the time to cut the okra. We're going to just slice it like so. The thing is, you can also add vegetable to this egusi if you want, but today I just want the okra to be like the garnishing. This is all the okra I would like to use. Now you can use according to your preference, all right? The only thing is the okra shouldn't overpower the egusi, just like my crew members told me. All right. So at this point, I'm just going to stir on this. Then I'll add the okra. Once I add the okra, to cook for another 2 minutes, and it's ready, or 3. Alright guys, so this is our egusi okra soup. As you can see, the viscosity is not much. It's actually there. I can see the draw, but not too draw like that. Then I noticed that the soup kind of thickens. Immediately I added the okra, so it's thicker. You may want to add some water. I think it's kind of thick. So I'll add a little bit of water. Very little, because it's just my crew members that are cooking this soup today. It's supposed to be thick. No, the thickness is deep. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So, but it's really thick now after adding it. All right. So, as we have come to the end of the egusi soup, it's time for us to go get our Malta Guinness bread from where the dough has been rising. Hoping that this yeast would not disappoint me. It needs to rise. Wow, that's our bread. I'll now have to knock it down. Knock it down. I'm just going to keep folding it in, kneading and folding just to get all that air out. Then I'll cut to size. So I'm just going to take some butter to oil the pan. so it will easily come out after it's baked. So I've just used a dough scraper to divide it. So I'm just going to fold this. I'll add my raisin to this. Now that I've added the raisin, I've oiled my pan. I'm just going to put the dough into the pan. Most of you like my Nordic pan, so this other one, I won't be adding raisins to it. I'm going to bake it in the Nordic pan. Let's see how it will come out. But the Nordic pan is usually very beautiful. So I'm going to cover it and I proof a second time. I have my oven preheating and here is our bread. So let's check if this one proofed well. Yes, it did. Looks good. So I'm going to pop it into the oven now to cook. And please, when you are oiling it, don't forget to oil the top as well. Alright, so I'm going to allow it cook for about 30 to 40 minutes.
No matter how you celebrate, spread the goodness with Malta Guinness.
Welcome to Banter and Bites on Foodies and Spice. My name is Gina and I've got Benita here today. Benita, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
You are very welcome.
Oh, I'm very happy to be here today.
All right, so today's topic.
Okay.
Does food taste better when cooked by someone else?
I think it depends on the food really and who is cooking it. If it's noodles, of course it can't taste better. I cook the best noodles hands down. Okay. But any other food, my mom cooks it or someone experienced cooking it, I feel like it tastes better, 100%. Because there are certain things you have to add when you're cooking that I might not add or do because I'm not really a cook person. I think I don't really like being in the kitchen much. So when someone does it for me, I feel loved by the person. So the fact that the food is made with love makes it taste better.
Okay, so but you know there's this cooking myth where people just say, oh, when I cook, I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy other people's cooking. Like probably you have inhaled so much of the aroma while cooking or maybe tasted so much. So by the time you are done, you really don't enjoy eating it as much as you may have anticipated. But when it's someone else that made that food, you are so happy to jump into it. Do you believe that myth?
Yes, and I also think that myth works. If food is your way to relieve stress, I don't think that myth would affect you. But if you are cooking because you need to eat or because you are the primary provider, say you're the mother of the house, and you have to cook, it might happen because you're tired and then you have to cook for your family. So when you see your family eating, you're already satisfied that, okay, they like this food, and you tend to forget.
So you think it's the satisfaction that fills you up and
yes,
you don't feel like you want to eat anymore?
Yes.
You think so?
That works, that happened.
So guys, I'm going to throw this question back to you guys. Does food taste better when someone else cooks it? Thank you for joining our podcast today. But just before we go, I am baking a Malta Guinness bread.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, I made bread from Malta Guinness. with yeast, so we're waiting for it to rise and all of that. So before we leave the podcast, I just want to check and show it to you, and we can have a slice and enjoy it with our Malta Guinness. Oh wow, this looks really good. Very beautiful. Amazing. This looks good. Yeah, our Malta Guinness bread is ready. It's beautiful. This is an amazing loaf of bread. The Malta Guinness bread. I added some raisin just to make it really pretty, but you can remove the raisin. Like in this one, there is no raisin. So, but this is pretty. You can enjoy it with your butter for it to be shiny. Benita, cheers. Cheers to goodness. Yeah. Have you ever tried egusi and okra soup together before?
Never.
This is the first time.
Yep.
So it's good, it's the first time for two of us. So let us eat it and decide if it's something we want to keep doing or not. Even if some of the people looking at us behind the camera, they said it's one of their favorite things. Yeah, so let's try.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay. I'll allow you speak first. I actually do love it though. Like, I like the sweetness the okra adds to the egusi. Like, it's sweet. You know, is it? Okay, let me allow you to talk. But this is actually very good. It's something.
I will talk, but let me eat.
Okay. This is very good.
It is. This is good.
Very good.
I can feel the okra in my mouth.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I really do like it. And trust me, it goes excellently well with your Malta Guinness. I think with this egusi, that's when you actually realize that okra is sweet in terms of taste. On its own, you might not know, but this kind of just highlights that sweetness of okra.
But they collab well.
Well, very well.
10 out of 10.
Thank you. Guys, this is the most, I don't know, the most tastiest bread loaf I have ever made. And guys, I made it with Malta Guinness. The tastiest I have ever tasted. It's not about me ever made. Like, this is really, really good. Really, really good. But I'm going to allow Benita try it first and say her mind and tell me what it's giving.
And this is Malta Guinness. But it feels like cake.
Does it feel like cake?
And it feels like a lot in my mouth, and it's melting. Oh my god, this is good.
This is actually really good. Like,
I'm chewing the raisins. Oh god!
without me. Like, this is really good. This, yes, you can drink it for refreshment. You can make mocktails with it, yes. But you see, if you bake, add it to your bread. But just before we go, Benita, here. It's a gift from Malta Guinness.
So many gifts.
I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you have some cans of Malta Guinness in here to make sure that you make your own banana bread. I know you said you don't cook much, but try it. Thank you all so much and see you again soon. Bye.